Welcome back to Reactioncast. It's your host, Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus, here to give you another movie review. This time around, we're going to be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine.
In my world, you're well regarded. You were an X-Man. Fuck that, you were the X-Man. The Wolverine. He's a hero in my world.
Yeah, well, he ain't shit in mine.
So, we've been anticipating this movie for so long. I've been waiting so long to see this film. I've been avoiding every single forwarding trailer to kind of avoid any spoilers. I only watched the initial trailer. I reacted to that and then kind of stayed blind to this one in general. I did not want to get spoiled is not the word. I wanted to get a sense of surprise and joy that I've been missing in some of the Marvel films. I've been the pre-Endgame. I was actively watching movies in the YouTube videos, in the forums, on Twitter, just speculating everything, and for the most part, a lot of those speculating were correct, so I kind of lost that joy in the surprise that came when some of those things happened in those films. So my goal for Deadpool and Wolverine was to watch the initial trailer to get a sense of where we're going to be at, and then, you know, do my best to stay blind for the past couple months. And I did my best, and I'm glad I did, because boy was this film a ride and a half. Like, it's one of those things where, you know, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are a duo like no other, but seeing them play these two characters is on a next level, and it was a joy to watch. The film itself, for just context reasons, it's Deadpool gets pulled by the TVA to save the universe in some sense, and he needs the help of Wolverine. And so he's on the hunt for Wolverine to save his universe. That's kind of the gist, the initial gist, without any spoilers here, you know. And you know, it's a fun, interesting multiversal film. It's interesting what they did, because definitely the idea of multiverse has been very stagnant. It's been very underused, and it's been lackluster. That's the best way I can put it. It's very lackluster. So getting to see what this film was going to take and portray, because we are talking about Deadpool, the merc with the mouth, and how he and this fortunately rated R film came to be, because it's a movie where you just go there to enjoy it. You know, you just watch it to have fun. The only thing I would say would be its few sour points is that you might have had to have watched kind of Loki season 1 and 2 to get an idea of some of the stuff that was happening, because as its own thing, it can pretty much stand alone as its own film. You know, as long as you've watched the first two Deadpools. Besides that, I think that's really one of the few negatives that I could see. Is you would have to have some context from Loki and Loki season 2 to kind of get an idea of what's happening there. But the film does a decent job to kind of fill in a couple of the blanks, but you probably get a little bit more out of it with some background with Loki and Loki season 2. Besides that, the film itself is action packed, funny as hell. depending on your sense of humor, some of those jokes like kill, some kind of miss the mark here and there, but they got me chuckling. They got my theater laughing. Definitely the dynamic between Deadpool and Wolverine, God, beautiful, like beautiful. Whether they're arguing, goofing, or just a simple like quip, they work really well. Like, it shows and shines through there. The plot itself is interesting, nothing grand, but it's fun. I would say, like, the idea of Deadpool finding Wolverine to help him to like save his universe is like in itself pretty standard, but they make jokes on that sense, and I like that they do. And the journey for these two characters, what is done in this film, even though I would love to have gotten more context with some of these characters, for a 2-hour film, I think we got a good movie. Anything more or less would have been a little bit much or not enough. I think we got just enough where we're like, okay, this is where we're at. I'm fine with it. Definitely the final act of this movie is a bit goofy, but I think it's worth. It plays on itself, and it's one of the few times where you watch these films, and this is non spoiler talk. Like, I might do a spoiler discussion, but this film was definitely worth like waiting for, because it's what we wanted from a Deadpool movie for a while. Like, what I mean is, like, the continuation, and to do it in this sense, it's funny because we finally got to see him just being embraced by the Marvel universe, the MCU, and it's fun that he plays into it. I love that his character even jokes so much into it. It's hilarious. To some that might seem a little bit too much, but it works well for what it's played here. Now, definitely the one thing I would say is, in recent years, Ryan Reynolds as an actor and Deadpool as this character definitely leaves a little less to the imagination. So definitely the writing in some of these things can be not too surprising, because when Deadpool 1 came out, it was definitely one of the better films to have come out at that time, and that was a few times I really got to see Ryan Reynolds just pop off in that style, and he's been doing it a lot recently, and he's been doing a lot of that, and it's not bad. It's like you come to expect it now. So seeing it portrayed here, it was not as surprising. So some of those one-liners, those quips, definitely is on, like, it's so, but there are some good lines there. The Logan, Hugh Jackman, his comeback, I was like, what? I was overjoyed just seeing him on the screen as Wolverine again, and seeing how they were going to kind of do his character after he's, quote, retired. I'm glad that Ryan Reynolds was able to get him back to kind of do it one last time here to see what they were going to do. So his portrayal here, the way they did this Wolverine, I like what they did. Like I said, the dynamic between these two were fantastic. Overall, audio tracks, the fight scenes, everything was just on point. Now, this, like I said, no spoilers here, but some of the fun cameos as they portrayed were great. I was not expecting some more surprising than others, but boy, was my theater and myself in an uproar, to say the least. I'm glad what they did. I'm glad what they did. This movie is all I really wanted in a Deadpool and Wolverine movie. There have been more, you could sprinkle a little bit more, but overall, I had fun. I enjoyed it. I'm glad that I stayed away or tried to avoid any digging into it, because definitely this film was a blast. Like at the time of this recording, I'm gonna go see it again one more time. That's how much fun I had watching it. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify. If you're listening to this on any other podcasting platform, follow me on social media to let me know your thoughts. So thanks again for listening or watching. Until next time, see ya. See ya. See ya. See ya.